Hello everybody. So on this video, I'm going to show you our internal processes on how we are able to get consistent prospecting meetings every single week with our outbound strategy. So just a little bit about myself. So I've been in business development over the past 10 years. Business development for me is getting meetings. That's what it is. Worked for Oracle at the beginning, then went to Salesforce, which is the most competitive landscape for a sales rep. And what I was doing back in the days were exactly the same thing that I'm going to show you today, but I was not doing that at scale. So spending a lot of time behind tasks that today can be fully automated thanks to the AI. So on this video, I'm going to show you how we do outbound inside my current company, which is ZipChat. ZipChat is an AI chatbot for e-commerce. What it does, it just makes sure that visitors and customers don't feel lost or unengaged during their buying journey, during their browsing on your website, on your e-commerce. And we make sure that we suggest the right products, we share the right information, and basically we help brands make more orders and increase conversion rates. So let me start by telling you a little bit about my process and all the tools that I'm using to fulfill kind of my idea of doing outbound. So every time I want to start a new campaign, everything starts by understanding who I want to target, right? So in my case, obviously, we're talking about e-commerce people. We're talking about e-commerce companies. So everything starts by identifying what these companies, who these companies are, and what these personas want, and what are their priorities, right? So after I identify that, I can craft an initial copy of what the final email will be, and everything starts with that, because I usually write the email first. So that's my first task. I'm just going on SmartLead, which is the software I'm using, and I'm just like creating the sequence, right? Even before I have the list of companies, even before I do the enrichment, before basically everything, right? So I can understand what kind of personalization I'd like to achieve. And then based on that, I'm going to reverse engineer and use a couple of tools that I'm going to show you to accomplish what I have in mind. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I want to create a campaign where I'm basically sending out a chatbot simulation to people. That's the call to action. That's the milestones that I want to accomplish. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a copy, which is, the one that you see here, which is like, hey, first name, so Carlo. I trained the chatbot on company Clay. We're going to see that. So it's company name. And that's going to be the object. I'm doing usually an A/B test to see like what's the best, to then scale whatever works better. So usually I'm using these copy a lot, like Curious, comma, first name. It's performing quite well. And then again, the copy of the bot is first name. We are the AI sales chatbot behind brands. Like I want to mention some customers. All of our clients have registered a higher conversion and engagement after implementing ZipChat. And then I want to send some sort of personalization where I'm saying something like, hey, I ran a simulation on your company and it looks amazing and it's very easy to now buy, and ask product information about one of your product. And I want to mention one of these products, right? So that's kind of the kind of email that I wanted to send out. And based on that, I know that I would need to get some customizations and personalizations to be able to do so. So now the process starts. So obviously we need to get these people, get these companies. So the software I'm using the most is called Apollo. I'm now doing a lot of tests using store leads as well, because my it's e-commerce play for me, so it would make more sense based on your business. I think Apollo is the most generic one, but even like with e-commerce, it works pretty well. So I can just go on search for people or for companies. So usually my process has always been about using Webtastic to get the companies, and then going to Apollo and search for the people inside those companies. Um, Now I'm changing that a little bit. So now I'm using just Apollo to just search for people directly, and it's working well for me. So uh, here I can I can filter for everything that I would need to kind of identify my ICP. So in my case, I'm going to look for Shopify technologies, and then I can work on keywords as well to maybe make sure that I only target, like, I don't know, fashion and apparel, which is the best for us. And I have like 380,000 people I can search from, right? And then maybe job title for me, like it's e-commerce managers. And then I have a list of 1,400 people that are e-commerce managers working for a company that using Shopify and in apparel and fashion, right? And I have a bunch of other filters, I think, here and there already selected. But yeah, that's the tool that I'm using. After this search is done, and I can look at whatever here, it's to see like if actually makes sense. Then I'm just gonna select all the people and export. So one thing that it's very important, it's to only export the emails that are actually verified. So one of the things that I love about Apollo is it lets you already like click on these two filters. We're like likely to engage and verified. Just make sure you select both of them, because for some reasons, like they just, if you click on verified, it will exclude the likely to engage. So make sure you select both, and this way you will just send emails to like verified emails. You don't want to burn all your domains by sending emails to guest emails. That's not how it should be. So after you export these lists, you will have a CSV file, and then you will be able to start like doing all your creative things and enrichment. So what I'm using to do these sort of things, which is really trending at the moment, it's Clay. So what I'm doing is I'm importing the CSV file from Apollo to Clay, and it will start populate all these columns, right? And then after that, I can just start my process of enrichment to then again being able to accomplish what I want to accomplish here. So everything starts with the copy in my head. I really know who I want to target. Like I don't have to wait until I go on Apollo and export it. I know that I want to talk to e-commerce companies. So that's the message I want to send out, right? And when you're sending a message, you always want to make sure that there is this kind of structure of like why you now, where hey, I'm contacting you because we work with similar companies, and I'm contacting you now because that's there is some trigger, maybe like a news, or in this case I just run a simulation on your business, I want to send it over to you. So always be as like short as possible. Like I'm not like a good believer of like sending huge emails or like huge one line that are even like highly personalized, but nobody cares. Like nobody cares if you're saying, hey, I don't know, I see that your company is in Rome and there is a nice restaurant there, like whatever, right? People just receive so many emails. Like you just need to go straight to the point. So after I am importing all the companies, all the contacts in Clay, I can start doing the magic here. So I'm going to show you how my process works. So again, I'm importing the contacts. I'm not importing the companies, because then if I'm importing the companies, then I would need to search for the contacts. And sometimes when you work with like multiple tables, it can be messy. So for me, it's just contacts first. So it's kind of easier. So when I'm importing the table, the documents in the table, I get a few data points from Apollo already, like first name, last name, title, and company, and email, and a few other stuff. And again, I can just like make a few adjustments. So here's the first adjustment I usually do. So the company name we get normally from database softwares like Apollo or Starlate, whatever, they might have some crazy like characters in it, like this TM here. So what I usually do is I clean the company. So again, I wanna mention the company here on the object of my email, right? And I don't want to mention the company I get. I don't want to mention these column. Like these like parentheses are column on clay. Okay, so here's we're getting into the integration now as we speak. Like these parentheses are column here. So if I want to accomplish these, I need to make sure that I have a column in clay, and then the result in that cell is actually what I want, right? So the company name, I don't want to get it from Apollo. I want to clean it, and then I want to get these here. So it's cleaned. I don't have the TM, right? Here you see news actress cleaned without the TM. So make sure you have this. It's very easy to accomplish this. What you do is everything in clay is super easy, like it's no code. It doesn't require you to be an expert. What I do here to clean the company is I create a formula and I say, hey, get the company name from the company name, which is column, like next on the left, and remove any words like LLC, TM, and penny, RTM, Inc., and I can go like on, right? LTD, like whatever. And then I just run like the formula on all the rows, and then I get like the clean company. Then I have the email and the LinkedIn profile. These things I'm getting from Apollo, so I don't have to do anything here. I don't have to do any enrichment. Also, like every single enrichment that are a little bit complex costs like clay credits, and it's really expensive. So you want to make sure that you have as many information as possible as early as possible without using clay. And that's another software I'm using right here. So what I want to do is I also want to to create different touch points with the prospects on multiple platforms. And LinkedIn is such a powerful tool. So if your prospects are on LinkedIn, just make sure you do this. Like this is helping me a lot. And what I'm doing is I'm using another software which is called La Growth Machine, which can be used for basically like creating emails and sequences as well, but I really prefer to use Smartlead for that. But but smart, like Growth Machine, sorry, it's super powerful when it comes to LinkedIn. I just like it. So what I do is, because you can't send a message on LinkedIn if you don't have a connection first, okay? Otherwise, my strategy would just be like sending messages on LinkedIn because it's just such a higher reply rate. What I do is I just create a simple campaign where I'm saying, hey, just ask for friendship. That's what I do. So when I'm asking for friendship, and that's the usually first touch point, people know who I am, and some people just look at what I do, right? So when they receive the email from Smartlead, from the campaign, then they kind of a little bit like warmer, and usually that results in better conversion rates at the end. So what I do here is I just create a new lead on La Growth Machine. It's very easy to do that. It's once you add a new column, you can add an enrichment. There is a connection on Clay. It's native connection with La Growth Machine. So you can just like, hey, create a new lead, put it in this sequence, in this audience that you create first on La Growth Machine, and pull this information, right? So then I go on La Growth Machine, and then I just create this simple sequence where I'm adding the audience, which is in this case Shopify, fashion and beauty on Clay, and I'm selecting my identity, which is my LinkedIn profile, and there is no content because asking for friendship. Basically, it's very, very simple. Then what else we got here? We have company LinkedIn URL, which is again something I'm getting from Apollo, the country, the company city, because eventually you might want to, I don't know, just mention customers based on the country. So maybe if the company is in Canada, I want to mention a customer that it's based in Canada. So that will increase the trust level in my company. That's something that I can accomplish easily. Something else that I do in my case is I find the sitemap URL. In this case, e-commerce chatbot works really well when there is a large product portfolio, like a large catalog. It works well with smaller ones as well, but usually like large catalogs mean enterprise companies. So what I do is I do use one of the simple enrichment of Clay, which is actually free. Then that's called find sitemap URL. Just adding a new column and you just click on sitemap. It's out of the box. So here I'm finding how many pages, so how many products are in e-commerce. Then based on this, I create a formula here on the right that says if the total found list of pages it's greater than 1,000, then write large product catalog. Otherwise, write small product catalog. It's just as simple as that. I don't need to be a developer. Like, it just, as I would speak, I would just write it down here. Then I would just test it, and if it works, great. And usually it works really well. And then based on, again, these things, I'm saying, hey, small, large. Something else that I do, again, remember here, I want to mention customers based on similarities with the brands. So how do I know when one of my customers is similar to one of the prospects I'm targeting? Well, in my case, it's about the products they're selling, right? So in order to accomplish this, I would need to understand what they're selling first, to then create a sort of automation that says, hey, if they're selling, fruits, mention this company in the foods, right? If they're selling jeans, mention this fashion company, and so on. So what I do here is I'm adding a column and I'm using Clay Agent, which is the AI of Clay. And then what I tell Clay to do is, hey, Clay, visit the website and return here the list of products the company sell, right? In this case, I'm using my own OpenAPI key. It's kind of easier and cheaper as well. And I'm using 3.5 ChatGPT, so it's kind of all right. Now they have the 4.0 as well, so I think I'm going to switch to this one. And again, the result is quite good. So like I'm getting everything they're selling. Like, hey, based on the information we found on this company, these are the products they're selling, like skincare, hair care, body care, and beauty bundles. Then again, based on these sort of products, I want to identify the category. So it's easier for me to then pick one of my customers in that category and mention that customer in the email, right? So very easy. Again, I say to Clay, hey, based on the products, define which of the following category best describes the e-commerce store, and giving Clay a list of categories. So I don't give Clay and OpenAI kind of the flexibility and the creativity to do whatever they want, because my customers in HubSpot have been associated to a specific category. So I want to make sure that I have data consistency. So again, what Clay is doing is looking at the products here in this column and make sure that he will just select one of the category that I'm listing. And then again, here we go. So, and then I have the customer to mention. So we already got the company Clay, which is the company clean data. Then now we have the customer to mention that we have to pull, right, from Clay. So here we go. So what I built here is a very simple formula that says, if the value in the product category is fashion and apparel, then write down in this column this customer. If the value is supplements, write down Optimus. And Grass & Co. and Balance. If the value is cosmetics, write down Lily Skin. Like these are all our customers. Very easy. I can always like make it like more complex and say, hey, if the company category is fashion and the company is based in Canada, mention this company is. I can be more like personalized if I wish. So then I run these for all the rows, and I get for every single contacts, the companies, I have a customer to mention, right? I can go on and say like ask for the traffic on SEMrush and get the monthly visitors from that and identify if it's an ICP or not. That's something that I can do. But the thing is, when you use Apollo, you're already paying to get all the contacts. So if you have limited budget on on Clay or on your Smart Lead or on all the emails you're using, then what I'm suggesting you to do is just make sure you're already filtering out the non-ICP in Apollo. So once you import the contacts here, they are already ICP. Like if you're not able to do that, then you just make sure that you run some automation here to then be able to filter out whatever non-ICPs companies are on this table. Like in my case, usually we work well with e-commerce companies making more than 1,000 visitors a month at least. So I want to filter out all the companies they don't have 1,000. But in my case, you see, I run a few cells here and there, but they all more than 1,000. Then I want to build my last message, which is normally like in this case, the personalization one, where I want to say, hey, I run a simulation on your store and it's amazing and it's very easy to order a pair of jeans if you're selling jeans. So because we have the list of products, because at this point we know everything about the company and it's fully automated. Like I remember, in Salesforce, I was spending so much time behind getting all this information. Like I was literally spending like 20 to 30 minutes per company I was prospecting. And how I can do this at scale with the same quality, like sales methodologies that I learned in Salesforce. It's just mind blowing. So now I know everything about, we are at the end of the enrichment table. So what I can do here is I can write my amazing personalized message. So what I do here, I'm using OpenAI directly, and I'm saying, hey, use the following structure. I just trained it on clean companies data, and it looks amazing how simple it is to ask for product suggestions and buy result, which is the products. Remember the list of products. And then I'm saying, hey, take only one top product from the list. I want to say like, hey, how easy it is to buy like, jeans and sunglasses. Like it will be like a mess. Want me to send over a link so you can test it out yourself. I'm a very big fan of these call to action. Like if it makes sense for your business, always ask if you can send more information over. Like always ask for permission, right? To send an asset over. Like in my case would be like a link, which is if they click it, they will have a full page chatbot, which is trained on their e-commerce data. So it's kind of amazing if you're able to do that. Otherwise, you can send out Looms videos. You can say something like, hey, I just recorded a very personalized video for you. Can I send it over? Like you didn't do that first, but if they say yes, send it over, then you can do it, one by one. So then I get this kind of message. The result is quite amazing. Like in this case, I just trained it on Never Go Alone's data, and it looks amazing how simple it is to ask for product suggestions and buy hand sanitizer. Want me to send over a link so you can test it out yourself. And I run this, and it goes 2,000 rows. Like, it's just mind blowing. Like it works all the time. Like if I click here and buy power racks, and buy daily clips and so on. So now I'm like, I can mention customers based on the product category. I can send personalized messages based on the products they're selling. Like it's quite amazing. And then last step is add the leads to the campaign. So you create a campaign here on Smart Leads, and then you can push the leads into that campaign. So once you do that, you are able to actually push the columns of the clay table as well. That's super important, right? Like you can add custom field names like simulation, company clay, which is clean company, customer dimension, and then you select the column. Like this is super important because again, we want to use the clay results here directly on the message. And after I do this, again, I don't need to create multiple campaigns, like one for fashion, one for, I don't know, pharmacies. I can just like create one and based on whatever results I'm getting, like send a personalized message. It's just super easy to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, my process is kind of what the process was at the time in Salesforce, like based on, now obviously it's about zip chats. So I know what kind of messaging I need to send out to get the attention of people. But everything starts again with the message, and then I'm doing reverse engineering to then understand what kind of data points I need, what kind of personalization I need to then send out the message that I have in my mind. And when it comes to results, I'm just gonna give you some ideas here as well to kind of track. So make sure you don't track opening rates. And here are a few examples that I really like pull over. Like when you see like a low, like in this case, like you have a low opening rate, like doesn't matter. Like this is not true. Like always make sure when you have a Smart Lead campaign to click on edit and make sure on the setup here, you don't track email opening and track links. Because if you track the opening, then it means that inside the body of the email, there is this kind of a script that will affect your deliverability. So you don't want to mess up with that. So just make sure you don't do that. So a good rule of thumb is whatever it's above 1%, it's good. So what is 1%? 1% is if you multiply the reply rate with the positive reply rate, if the result is above 1%, it's all right. So in this case, it's quite unbelievable because it's like 7%. It's 0.35 multiplied by 0.25. You get the idea. But normally, like a good rule of thumb is like 2%, 3% reply rate is usually what you're expecting. So it's a quantity game. Sales development is science. You need activities to get opportunities. That's what it is. But if you can work with like these process that I showed you, then you can build like maybe some more personalized emails, and that will help you with better reply rate and better positive rate, reply rate. So yeah, I guess that's my process, and that's all on my side, guys. If you want to chat and ask me anything, just make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Carlo Bellati. I'm always open and curious to see what's working for you guys as well, and happy to network. So thanks very much, and have a wonderful day to everybody. Ciao, ciao.